$10,000 a month. For anyone starting a business, that's a huge milestone. And in this video, I'll tell you in 4 steps how I hit that goal at 20 years old by selling websites out of my mom's basement. And before we start, make sure to subscribe, because in the next video, I'm going to reveal which tools I use to build my websites in just 30 minutes, which program I use for outreach calls, how I host websites for free, and my full game plan so you can copy it step by step. Now, before we dive into the steps, let me give you a bit of context about me. 10 months ago, I was working multiple shitty jobs and had no money. The kind of jobs where you're counting every minute, where you feel invisible. Here you can see me sitting on the floor of an industrial company, hiding to not have to work. The crazy thing is that photo was taken 10 months ago. Now I just hit 10K in monthly revenue, returning revenue. 6 months ago, I knew nothing about websites. I was starting from zero, no experience, no skills, no clients. But now, 6 months in, I hit 10K a month. If you watch my following videos, you can get your first client in your first 2 weeks, and it's gonna get a lot easier from there. Okay, enough said. Let's talk about the steps. Step 1, cold outreach. One of the oldest outreach tactics there is, but trust me with it. In the beginning, you will have your struggles. Only few people picking up the phone, no one wants your website, and so on, but with time, you will realize how powerful cold calling really is. It took me 3 weeks and hundreds of calls to get my first client, but after that, I knew my script was working, and from there, it went uphill very fast. Now I close about 1 to 2 clients a day. If you want to know how clients to reach out to you, I will explain that in a different video. Step 2, building the websites. This is where most people overcomplicate things. In my first project, I thought I needed to build the fanciest site ever, but I quickly learned that's not what clients want. They don't care about animations or flashy features. They want something clean, simple, and professional, a site that actually works for their business. I talk to them, understand their customers and their goals, then create a site that feels trustworthy and easy to use. Once you've done it a few times, it gets so much easier. You build a process, and suddenly you can deliver great results without the stress. Step 3, hosting. This is where a lot of people miss out on recurring income. My websites aren't just a one-time project. It has to stay online, fast, and secure. My clients don't want to think about the technical side. They don't care how it works, they just want it to work, so I take care of it. I handle everything behind the scenes, keeping their websites up, making sure they load quickly, and minimizing downtime. For them, it's peace of mind. For me, it's recurring, stable revenue. My websites do that on autopilot, so there's no additional work. If you want to know how, watch my next videos. Step 4, upsells. Now, this is where the real growth happens. Once you build trust with a client, they're way more open to working with you on other things. I started offering additional services like professional email setup, simple maintenance packages, regular content updates, and these aren't just extra charges. These services actually help them grow their business, which means they're happy to pay for them, and that turns one-off clients into long-term relationships. These are the 4 steps you need to get started in the web design business. Of course, there's more to it than I've told you in this video, but in general, these are the steps. You can start this business today with nothing more than you paid for your controller you smashed last week. If I, who started with nothing, can do this in 6 months, so can you. Don't forget, subscribe, because in my next video, I'll show you the full behind-the-scenes process on how I build full websites in 30 minutes, which program I use to cold call, how I host websites for free, and my entire game plan so you can copy it for yourself. Trust me, you don't want to miss that. See you in the next one.